Hello YouTube. In my videos, I try to bring you information about remote areas of the Russian Federation and Central Asia and countries around. And you learn about places like Chukotka, Kamchatka, the Kuril Islands, and of course the paranormal phenomena associated with such territories, UFOs, USOs, and of course other aspects of the paranormal world. But sometimes there are natural phenomena that's fascinating, and I'll tell you about Chukotka today. There are other videos about this very interesting land in my channel. You will find them, and I'll speak about something that happens in Chukotka, quite unusual. In the north of Chukotka, 640 kilometers from the city of Anadyr, there is a place where the wind reaches the speed of a courier train, 80 meters a second. This is Yuzhak, the south wind, a unique natural phenomenon that occurs only in the Chaunskaya Bay. Its force is so great that it tears fur coats, breaks bones, and carries fuel barrels and motor sleds into the sea. The city of Pevek stands at the foot of a mountain that the Chukchi have long called the Foul Mountain. According to a legend recorded in tales and myths of the peoples of Chukotka, the place became cursed after a fierce battle between the Chukchi and Yukagir people. The victorious Chukchi left the bodies of their defeated enemies unburied, believing that they would serve as food for animals. However, an unusually hot summer led to the rapid decomposition of the bodies, filling the air with a foul odor. The Chukchi believed that they had angered the evil spirits who had sent dwarf Raken upon them, spreading diseases and misfortunes through the camps. Since then, this place has been considered lost. In the 1930s, Pevek became the main harbor of the northern sea route, through which metal was shipped from the Pirchakai tin-bearing hub. The city grew steadily, but the inhabitants of Pevek quickly came across the main feature of the place on which the settlement was founded. From time to time, the city was simply blown away. The wind originated in the mountains near the coast. As it descended from the icy mountain peaks, including the famous Foul Mountain, the wind reached speeds of up to 15 meters per second, creating spontaneous whirlwinds along its path. In some cases, as reported by Meteo TV, the wind speed reaching the mountains faster than a courier train reached up to 80 meters per second. Reaching the bay, the airflow with all the force of the city buildings. This is how it hit them. Everything that came in the way, this wind blew away instantly, taking with it not only the snow but even the ice. Ice needles act as a huge file, grinding almost to the root all unfixed objects on the mountain slopes and in the area of the bay. But the most terrible happens when in the path of this air bulldozer are living people. In every house in Pevek, there are barometers. The first thing the city's residents do in the morning is to look at the scale on that device that could save their lives. Half an hour before the hurricane begins, the pressure starts to drop rapidly and clouds begin to gather over the Foul Mountain. As soon as the first signs of a hurricane appear, life in the city's businesses and offices comes to a standstill, and people rush to get home as quickly as possible. Kindergartens are closed, and children are not allowed outside until the storm has passed. At school, the children form a living chain. The eldest is the youngest, and the most mature and experienced students are at the beginning and end of the chain, while the smallest and weakest students are in the middle. The children move in a line between the houses, and the chain gradually shortens, with the heaviest and most experienced students being the last to leave. Children living in separate villages experience the hurricane at school. 10 minutes before the storm hits, the outline of the surrounding hills seems to blur, and powerful gusts of air rush into the valley between them, initially carrying snow, followed by the first real impact of the storm. The city's streets are deserted, and those who must leave their homes try to move as quickly as possible, taking short sprints between various shelters, such as running from pillar to pillar. No one knows how strong the next gust of the Yuzhak will be. In the past, the wind has easily carried away not only small objects, but also fuel barrels and motor sleds, even reaching as far as Rautan Island, and people are no heavier than splinters to the Yuzhak. Moving from house to house, people can always count on shelter. Travelers who are lost or simply exhausted will be welcome into any home, fed and warmed. But sometimes this help comes too late. The city of Pevek is built in such a way that each micro-district, or just a cluster of houses, has its own building, a wall that protects them from direct airflow, and the perimeter of the city is surrounded by a small fence that should help victims of the disaster to stay on the last frontier. However, this does not help everyone. The evil spirits of the north still do not lift their curse from the Chaunska Bay. Every year, many people who were unlucky enough to encounter a lamppost or even a fence on their way are carried out onto the ice. These people can be carried several kilometers from the coast towards the island of Rautan. According to the harsh laws of the Arctic, they must fight for their own survival, as ethnographer Vadim Turayev wrote in his article The Chukchi, because no one can come to their aid while the harsh weather is raging outside. Every year, several victims are found on the melting ice, having faced the merciless elements head-on. Many people perish there, at the mercy of the malevolent Rakens, as they struggle to protect themselves from the piercing wind, losing their sense of direction, vision, and hearing. And the Yuzhak, which can blow for weeks without weakening, seems to still be trying to drive all people out of Pevek, a city built against the will of the northern gods. That's what I wanted to let you know today. I urge you to look at my other videos about Chukotka. You will learn about its quite anomalous phenomena and its sturdy people as well. If you like my research, please support through the links you find in the description to this channel. Please subscribe to my channel and please tell others. Thank you for your attention to my work.